All right, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to solve square root equations, or equations that have radicals. All of our examples today are going to be square roots, and so if you look right here in our notes, the opposite of taking the square root is going to be squaring, or to the second power. And our goal is to isolate the house. And so when I talk about isolating the house, I'm talking about isolating the radical. And of course, we have our calculator strategy. We can enter the left side of the equation in F1, or input box 1. We can enter the right side in F2, or input box 2. And then we're simply just going to calculate the intersection and look just for the x value of that coordinate. All right, let's take a look at our first example. Remember, our goal is to get the house, to get the radical, the square root here by itself. Well, to do that, we have a 2 on the outside. We need to do the opposite of multiplying by 2. We're going to divide by 2. And so we're left with the 3 minus x in the house. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And now we're ready to remove the house. And if you go over here to our rule, the opposite of taking the square root is squaring. And we're going to square both sides. When you square the left side here, the house goes away. But we have to square the right side. Well, the house goes away on the left. 8 to the second power. That's not 8 times 2. That's 8 times itself, which is 64. Then we have to get x by itself, do the opposite of 3. Well, let's just subtract 3. There we go. We're left with negative x equals 61. We need to get x by itself, so I'm going to do something called the -1 rule. There's a hidden -1 right here. Well, instead of dividing by -1, you can just change the sign, and we can say that x equals -61. So let's see what that looks like in Desmos here. Right, so I already have some equations put in the calculator here. So I have the left side here in input box 1. And then if you have just a number, 16, you need to type in y equals 16, and that's what I did here. And we're calculating the intersection. So we're going to zoom in. We see an intersection here, and we're only looking for the x value of that coordinate. And you see it's -61. That's our answer. All right, let's look at a second example here. All right, so this time we have more than one number on the outside of the house. We have a 4, and then we have a -16. Well, we're going to always start with add and subtract. I say always. There's some exceptions to the rules, but for these examples, start with add and subtract and do opposites. Do the opposite of -16. We're going to plus 16 to the other side. So if I add 16 to the other side, I get 16. 0 plus 16 is 16. Now we're ready to get rid of the 4. Do the opposite of multiplying by 4. We're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. Right? We're trying to get the house by itself. 2x plus 3 equals 4. Now we're ready to remove the house. Remember, the goal is to get the house by itself. We've done that. Remove the house. The opposite of square rooting is squaring to the second power. So we do that to both sides. The house on the left goes away. 4 to the second power is 16. Let's get x by itself. We're going to start back over with add and subtract. Subtract 3 to the other side. 2x equals 13. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is just to divide by 2, right? So if I divide by 2, we get 6.5, or you could leave it as 13 divided by 2. Let's see if we get 6.5 as an intersecting value in Desmos here for the x value of the coordinate. All right, so I'm going to type in the left side of the equation here, and then we type in y equals 0, and we're calculating the intersection here, and you can see right there the x value of that coordinate is 6.5. All right, let's look at one more example here. Same thing, the process does not change. Not for these examples. So again, the goal is to get the house by itself. We need to start with add and subtract, do the opposite of -8. We're going to plus 8 to the other side. Bring down what you have left. 4 times the house is 28. Remember the goal, to get the house by itself, we need to do the opposite of multiplying by 4. We're going to just divide by 4 to the other side. X plus 7 in the house equals 7. Now we're ready to remove the house. Remember, the opposite of square rooting is squaring. We're going to go to the second power on both sides. The house on the left goes away. 7 times 7 is 49, right? 7 to the second power is 49. And then our last step, we got to get x by itself. Just subtract 7 to the other side. When you subtract 7, you get 42. All right, let's see if we get 42 as our x value of the intersecting coordinate here. We'll fire up Desmos here. We type the left side in here first. The right side, we're just going to do y equals 20. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. And let's see if we get 42 for our x value, and we do. We're 100% correct.